Hello, everybody. It is Donaylle from Woosah Holistic Health Coaching, back again to have another wonderful conversation with you guys. This conversation was by special request, so I hope I do her topic justice. She is one of my one-on-one coaching clients, and she messaged me the other day that she really wanted me to share some information with all of you on journaling. And I don't even know that I would have ever thought to talk about journaling and what it does and the value of it and what are the different types and what is the point. And the crazy thing is, journaling is one of the most powerful exercises for our mental health and getting clear on so many different things. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to do is acknowledge a very special woman who she was one of the lecturers at the institute where I got my certification. She introduced me to something that I share with my clients called morning pages. And I'm going to give a little shout out to Julia Cameron. She is probably in her 80s, and she wrote this brilliant book, The Artist's Way. It is she's a national best-selling author. And it's a course in discovering and recovering your creative self. And part of how that happens is through writing your morning pages. And what she explains is that you wake up in the morning and you basically start scripting. And if it wasn't for her doing her morning pages, she would have never figured out that she was on the completely wrong career. And she was a much, much older woman when she completely changed gears. She became a playwright. She started singing. And her family thought she was absolutely crazy because for decades, she was doing something completely different. Off the top of my head, I honestly can't remember what she was. She might have been a teacher or something, but whatever the case, it wasn't until she started consistently doing her morning pages, which is just pouring out onto the page. It didn't matter if you go back and read it again. It is not meant to be judged. It is just you pouring out whatever's inside and just let it go onto the page. No, I don't want you texting it into your phone notes. No, I don't want you typing. When I say writing, I mean like old-fashioned pen to paper or pencil, whatever. Script it, because there's something that happens that is way different than when you're just typing stuff, doing things digitally. Much more powerful exercise to write. So morning pages sifts you and sorts you and helps restore your creativity. Okay. The next kind of journaling that's super important is gratitude journaling. Now, we've already talked about how important gratitude is because whatever we're grateful grows, and whatever we appreciate appreciates. Or we end up attracting more things to our life to appreciate and to be grateful for. So if you can up your gratitude game, partially, not just by being mindful and being like, thinking about something like, oh yeah, that was nice, but actually write it out. That is a wonderful exercise in increasing more opportunities to your life that will then give you more things to be grateful for. So yes, gratitude is a really important daily practice. 3 to 5 things minimum. But if you have a hard time figuring out, well, I don't know what to write, think about a prayer of gratitude and think of it like this. If all I had today is what I said thank you for yesterday, what would I still have? And all of a sudden that you start coming up with a whole bunch of stuff to say thank you for, and your gratitude journaling becomes much more simple. Another kind of journaling is brain dumping. Now this one I recommend during an evening wind down. This is especially important for people who have a hard time sleeping. And the reason is because they take their problems to bed with them, and then they ruminate about it through the night, and then they have the racing thoughts, and they're overstimulated because their brain won't turn off because they didn't dump whatever is going on in their head onto the page before they took the problem straight into the bed with them, causing them to have disturbing sleep through the night. Brain dump before bed. Put it all on the page. What are you worried about? If there's something that you're concerned about that you have to get done, include all of it in your brain dump. Again, don't worry about rereading it. Just get it out so that your brain doesn't think you still have to deal with it all throughout the night because you've already released it onto the page. Now, this one is going to sound really, really crazy, but it works. It's called keeping a worry schedule. Have you ever heard of that? Now, don't tell me. Now, you know that sounds crazy, right? But here's the problem. People have so much anxiety today. They have so many things swirling around in their head that they're stressed and worried about. So what if you kept a worry schedule or a worry calendar? And what that means is every time a worrisome thought comes to your mind, write it down. Here's what happens. Your brain is going to notice every time you write something down, it's like your brain is saying, okay, she's going to deal with this. She's going to take care of it. So it doesn't keep like becoming more of like an OCD, like you're on a loop. Because what you're going to do is you're going to keep a schedule time of no more than 1 hour a day to deal with whatever was on the schedule from the day before. So let's say you're worried about, 3 things. The next day, you're going to set your time. You're going to have your time that you keep just like any other appointment. So every day at 3 o'clock from between 3 and 4, that's the only time that you get to deal with worrisome things. And then if another thought comes out after that, you have to put it on the list for the next day. And then the next day at 3 o'clock, you start working on the strategies on how we're going to deal with that concern. That way, only 1 hour of your day is dealing with mess and stress. The other 23 are you supposed to be resting, living life, working, creating, being happy, having fun, doing whatever, living life. But your brain knows that you only get an hour a day to deal with worrisome things. And because you keep that schedule and you keep that commitment to yourself to write down your concerns, deal it with the next day, write down your concerns, deal with the next day, same time, you send a message to your brain that you don't need to be on a loop because it's going to get taken care of. And, your brain's pretty smart. It's watching everything you do. So if you are consistent, if you truly do have a problem with racing thoughts and worrisome thoughts, your brain will work with you to stop it once you write it down and then return that energy back to yourself to use for something else. Okay, to-do list. It can kind of be part of your brain dump or it can be separate. Here's why it's important to keep a to-do list. And, there's that theory of eating the frog. Write down not only what you need to do, but when you write down what you have to do, figure out the thing on the list is taking the most energy from you. I remember I was working with a client and she said that nothing stresses her out more than having to take her kids to the mall and buy them outfits for stuff. I'm like, then you got to do it first. And we were able to do some different testing and figure out exactly how much energy that it was taking while it was swirling around in her head instead of her just go do it and get it off the list. Because the reason you want to eat the frog, so they say, so to speak, or do that unpleasant thing first, is because let's say that just the idea of it is taking 60% of your energy from you, that mental energy of it. It's not done, it's not done, it's not done. It's stressing you out. You've got 60% of your energy going out. The minute that you cross that thing off the list that it's done, that 60% comes right back to you. What would you do with 60% more energy? That's amazing. So cross it off. When you actually do the exercise of crossing things off your list, what that sends a message to your brain, return that energy back to her. And now you feel like $1 million. And you can go do something fun with that energy or just go to the next thing on the list. But make sure you do that big thing, that frog, get that gone, get that done. So you can feel better as you move through your to-do list. The act of writing things down and crossing them off, remember that, it's powerful. Not just having stuff swirling around in your head, but actually having it written down somewhere and taking it off. Dreams and goals. Dreams and goals is so important, not only for leveling up your life and being excited about your life, but people, they just feel like their life is supposed to be so basic and just humdrum. And it's not true. We should always be learning something. We should always be growing. We should always be working on ourselves. We should always be setting goals and having dreams and things that we're working on. For what? Because we want to improve the quality of our life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. That's what we're here for. We're all here for a reason. We're supposed to be doing something to make life joyful and to have more love, more peace, more happiness, more all the good things. You can't do that without dreams and goals. I know someone very specific that just came to my mind who always would say, I'm good. Every time you would say, what are you working on? I'm good. Guess what? Not good. Not good. Never been good. Don't know if things are ever going to be good, because they're not going to until you start understanding the importance of dreams and goals and writing them down and milking the moment and really seeing it and maybe making a vision board around it and getting excited about it. What a wonderful exercise for your brain. Your brain needs something good to do. So you might as well, people don't understand that it don't matter. The brain doesn't know if what you're thinking about is real. It has no idea the difference between if you're thinking about all the things you want to complain about, all the things you're mad about, all the people you're irritated with, all the people you're holding grudges against. If you're thinking about that, or if you're thinking about your house in the middle of Hawaii in the jungle, which one's real? Like, all the brain knows is that's what you're thinking about all the time, which means that must be what you like. And since the brain's job is to say yes, it's going to bring you more stuff to match it. So if all you think about is horrors, you're definitely going to get more horrors because it seems like you like horrific things. But if you daydream and you just anticipate fun and lightness and peace and beauty and vacation, I don't know, whatever it is that you want, what do you think is going to be the likelihood of you getting that experience as opposed to somebody who will not set a goal, will not come up with a dream, will not be working on anything? If the brain's going to be working, you might as well have it work more to your advantage. Give it something to do that's in alignment with what you want. So writing it down, daydreaming about it, then, you've reached that goal. What's next? There's always more. Don't be the kind of person that says, I'm good. Because what I can promise you, you will not be good. You will not. You will not have the life that you want. It will be basic on the best day, but more than likely, you will experience a lot of things that you didn't have to or shouldn't have had to deal with had you been a goal setter, always learning, hungry, interested, which of course makes you more interesting, and just always wanting to be the best that you can be. Journaling is imperative, okay? So if you were to come to me and say, who is journaling for? What is it for? It's for all of us. It's for everybody. Everybody should be journaling. And the thing I love is something called habit stacking. When you take multiple good things for you and do them together. So what I mean by that is take your journal somewhere beautiful. Sit by the lake and journal. I would have clients sometimes send me selfies of themselves journaling with their feet in the grass, which is called grounding or earthing, which is a really powerful anti-anxiety practice, getting your feet in the earth from which we came. And sitting there looking at something beautiful with the sun shining on you and then journaling at the same time. Now that habit stack, you're getting triple the benefits than if you were just sitting in a dark room journaling or something where you weren't looking at anything beautiful or maybe you weren't grounding. So remember, you can do your journaling with your other holistic practices like your miracle morning routine your morning pages. Do your morning pages while you're sitting by the ocean, looking at the waves, listening to the sound with your feet in the sand. Put it together, but just so long as you do it. And I know this is going to sound really goofy, but why not have a beautiful journal with a beautiful pen instead of just an old college, what are those notebooks called? Just with the yellow paper and the lines. I mean, if you're going to do it, involve more of your senses. Involve your sense of sight and make it a beautiful journal so that it's not I have to go journal. It's I get to go journal. Have it be something that you look forward to as part of your daily practice. I promise you it will also help you level up your life. In fact, many people have said it is what caused them to become millionaires. Some people call writing in the morning the millionaire's morning routine. So if it can do that, who knows what all it can do. But I don't think any of us can afford to not do it. So whether it's we're working on releasing who we're supposed to be creatively, or as Julia Cameron says, discover and rediscover our creative self. People don't know how important a creative outlet is. And it wasn't until I studied creativity at the Institute and understanding that people who don't have anything creative that they're doing, they have a hole in their health. So one of the things that we work on in holistic work is, what are we going to do with this part of your life? Because we're already going to be working on your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, maybe your finances. If you want to start a business, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on your joy, your social life. We're going to work on your relationship. We're going to work on your feminine energy, all of that. But we also need to work on your creativity, because whether you know it or not, it has an impact over your overall health. And so if you don't know what to do with yourself and you're like, I'm not creative, I don't know how to do anything creative, it's not true. But you might need to sift and sort, which is what Morning Pages does, and just pour yourself out on the page, and it will reveal itself to you what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know if I'd have done half the stuff that I've done without journaling, because all of a sudden it's like, I'll just get this light bulb moment like, oh my word. And that next thing you know, I just found another creative outlet, which feeds me. Okay, these things feed your soul. And so if we're talking about mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual, all of it, our whole being, and what affects and impacts the quality of our life, let's do all of it. Let's do everything that impacts and has the greatest impact on how we feel overall. And creativity is part of that. And when we don't exactly know what to do or how to do it, writing. Just write. Don't worry about it. Don't judge it. Don't feel like you got to read it again. Just write. And it will come to light what you were put here to do. Okay. Thank you to my wonderful client, such a great supporter of Woosah. And thank you so much for giving me this topic. I'm not so sure I would have even thought of it. But as you can tell, I have a lot to say about that and so much more. So if there's something else that you want to hear about, I'm talking to all of you now. If there's another topic that you've always wondered about, and like, does it really make a difference? Is it important? How does it benefit us? Just stick it in the comments. I'll see it, and I'll definitely respond to that. I love hearing about what's important to you guys and what matters to you. So don't be shy. Get in those comments. Let me know what you're thinking. And please, if you like this content, please give me a like. Share the channel. As you know, I'm really working hard to try to grow the channel, grow the community. I think it's a really safe space for us to talk about all things mental, emotional, and physical health. And so that's my message for today. Remember, Woosah, guys, because a body will not heal in an agitated space. And something that will help you to Woosah is to write. So go get those journals and get to writing. Talk to you soon. Bye.